I don't know what kind of face you call that. The T face? Oh, I see movement. All right, there we go. Starting off. All right, right in the beginning of this race, you're going to see a lot of jumping. Jumping saves just ever so slight amount of time. We're going to try and jump as much as possible in the beginning, skip cutscenes as quickly as possible. I believe jumping as opposed to just running saves about a second over the course of this intro. So why not do it? And then right at the end of this, we will get the main movement mechanic of this game, and it is the dash. And there's a lot of different things that we can do with this that just allow for so much creativity during this run and in these rooms. So both runners are through the very intro of the game, the prologue. And we're going to go on to Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is very cool, especially in this game, just because almost all of the movement tech in this game is used in this chapter. The game just gets more difficult and more difficult the more chapters we do. So on Swesie's screen, as well as Chocolatecake's, you're going to see, we'll kind of go over the main mechanics. Like I said, we have the dash. You're going to see a lot of wall bounces right there, just happened on Swesie's screen. If you press the jump button on a vertical surface right away, you will carry your momentum upwards. You also have dash jumps, which you just jump right after you dash. You get a little bit of height and you get to keep some of your momentum. Hypers are used very frequently in the run. And a hyper is when you are crouched and then you do a dash jump. You fly forward, kind of just, there is no set movement cap in this game. So you just get to go as fast as possible. You will be using a lot of that. On Swesie's screen, you will also see him doing quite a bit of wave dashes. And that's where you jump, bounce into the ground, jump out of it, and you get to actually regain your dash. So you can do 2 dashes, sometimes effectively doubling your reach that you can get to. So right here, both people are doing spike jumps. A little bit of a misleading name. We are not actually jumping off of the spikes. If you're moving away from the spikes, you actually won't die to them. So we will most likely be seeing that a couple of times during this run. So I will try and point out those the best of my ability. Hopefully I will be able to catch them. So Chapter 1 is done. We are moving to Chapter 2. Both of these runners are very in sync right now. Lots of hypers in this area, trying to get through this. Also, if you hold down, Madeline will fall faster. I think, yeah, Swesie is doing a lot of screen transition. Screen transitions refresh your dash, and you can kind of abuse that to skip certain cycles, get ahead of certain things, or just like skip sections of a room entirely. Just because the game, you're not supposed to have a set of almost 3 dashes. So both runners making through this section. Gosh, so much to talk about. The dream blocks. If you dash into the blocks, you will fly through them, regain your dash on the other side. And if you jump out of that, you get sent flying. Now we are actually in the Battle-In section. Battle-In will mirror your movement exactly and stays about 3 seconds behind. If she touches you, you will die, have to reset the room. Start at the beginning. So we're making it through here. Swesie's going to do this little key skip right there, slip right past those Battle-Ins, and enter one of probably the hardest room in Chapter 2, just because of its length. It can be very costly. He's going to have to wait there just a second. Didn't go quite quick enough to slip past those guys. Chocolate Cake is also just about to enter that room. We'll see how they do. There's just this final section for Swesie, and then chapter 2 will almost be completed. So let me go ahead and refresh my stream. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, Swesie is just finishing up right there. That is end of chapter 2. And Chocolate Cake is just finishing up the last part of the dream sequence, moving into chapter 3. Now, chapter 3 is definitely where a lot of the difficulty really ramps up. So a lot of hypers starting out here, trying to get in front of certain cycles. We're gonna do this little skip right here. Make sure he grabs a key. He's gonna go twice. Yeah, so the main enemy of kind of chapter 3 is these dust boys, or whatever there's multiple names for them. A lot of them are on set patterns, so there's a lot of room memorization that comes with this. Swesie is doing a good job moving through these first couple of rooms here. We see as Chocolate Cake is just now moving into beginning of chapter 3. So yeah, so a lot of this is cycle-based, just room memorization, as is this whole game, trying to use all of your kit to your advantage. See, Swesie's doing some hypers off of there to just slip past as quickly as possible. A lot of these rooms, there are different variations. Lots of runners do different things. You'll see him grabbing those keys there to open the door of the final room. There's multiple instances of those. Very nice wave dash off of that platform. Pretty tight to slip past those, skipping a small portion of that room. And then we finally meet Oshiro. So this is what's called the big mess, or a huge mess part of the run. A lot of just movement optimization running through here, trying not to get caught on all of this dirty laundry, books, crates, all that kind of stuff. And there is kind of a set path a lot of runners will follow. Very nice ultra in that room for, I guess ultras are when you do a hyper dash and then angular down dash out of a hyper, you get a ridiculous amount out of speed. Here's another spike jump right there. Very beautiful first try for Swesie. The Chocolate Cake here is grabbing the key, going into kind of this second section. Swesie over on the left is going to talk to Oshiro for a second time. As you can see, the room has cleared out just a little bit. Every time we activate one of the objectives as part of this huge mess section, more and more things clear out. So if you were to do these rooms in a different sequence, the platforms would be in different, like those books and the laundry and the boxes and all that stuff would be different. So there he goes. Grab the second switch. Oshiro is going to be right down there on the right. Easily just talk to him right away. Chocolate Cake is grabbing the key right there. I think about to finish up the first section right there. Swesie is on their third. This room, if you don't get that first cycle, can be a little bit hairy. So, yep, there we go. Grabbing that third and making his way to the very end. So, put up the key. All right. Chocolate Cake is talking to Oshiro, like we saw before, making their way to the second portion of it. A lot of these rooms, as we go on, they just get longer. A lot of for Swesie, he's entering some pretty long rooms right here. Can be very costly if you take a death at the end. They just take a lot of time to get through. I should also explain the little green diamonds that they are picking up is our refresh crystals. They refresh your dash. Give you a second dash if you hit them. Swesie going for a strat that does not use hypers, totally respectable. I take it the slow route. Actually, doing a Death Abuse right there, if you grab the key and you do a respawn, actually retain the key. So warps you back to the end, don't even have to worry about anything. So grab those refresh crystals. Very nice, very clean room right there. Yeah, we will see runners making their room, making their way through this room. All right. These very ending rooms for Oshiro are quite costly. If you take a death here, they just get longer and longer. Very difficult for some, especially I have difficulty on just manipulating Shiro. I'm gonna see if we can fix up this delay right here. All right, Chocolate Cake is also making it through this pretty difficult room, trying to dodge these dust bunnies. And now Swesie is making his way through Chapter 4, doing some water boosts, and now we have some more mechanics that are being introduced here. All right, yeah, we're working on it, guys. I apologize for the delay. All right, making our way through Chapter 4. Yep, doing some. Haven't really talked about neutral jumps yet. Going to do another spike jump here very soon. Very nice. First try for Swesie on the spike jumps. Doing some very good wall bounces also right there in that room to skip part of that level. So all right, Chocolate Cake is also finishing up these last few Oshiro rooms. Doing the dash crystals. And all right. We are getting this set up here. I apologize, everybody. I believe I saw both of these players both practicing Chapter 4 on their own before they were live. So this is just both a section that both runners have been practicing. We'll see if that shows. Making their way through a lot of the main mechanics of this is they now have the wind. You have wind from any direction, left, right, up, down, downdrafts and updrafts and stuff like that. Just kind of hampering your way, getting in the way. Have to deal with that change in physics. So Swesie is doing really well getting through these. A lot of this is utilizing those hyper dashes, ultras, stuff like that, getting through the rooms as precise as possible with that run, with the wind fighting you as much. Just it's making it everything awkward. Here, I believe, yeah, just doing some ultras off those small ledges. Chocolate Cake is making through. We'll see what they do. Deciding not to do the spike jump. I totally agree with that. I got stuck on it in one of my races. Took way too much time for me to do. Also, the blue bubbles that you will see as Swesie just finishes up very nicely. Chapter 4, getting through that with a 336. Yeah, the blue bubbles, if you enter them, you can early dash out of them by just pressing the dash button again. That saves a bunch of time over the course of how many you enter. And now we are into Chapter 5. We are into the temple section. This section has 2 parts to it. The regular part that you see going through right now is going to attempt a very nice first try with that. That skips having to go backtrack and grab a bubble that shoots you through those spikes. You can just do a wave dash, regain an extended wave dash. Go through that, dash again, skip that whole spike section. Talk to Theo a couple of times before he makes more of a grand appearance in the second half of this level. See, Chocolate Cake is very close to ending Chapter 4. Making their way here, having to grab those blocks, the directional blocks. You can kind of, there are a number of, these are what we call the auto-scrollers. You can skip some of them. Some of them are very, very particular. Only the top runners even go for them. Very difficult to do. So Swesie's going through the red bubbles. The red bubbles shoot you in a direction infinitely as far as they go until they hit a wall or until you dash out of them. And Swesie is going into probably the second half of this chapter with the Seekers and the Seeker and the Theo section. So pretty clean movement with the Seeker right there. Sometimes they're very bouncy, will bounce off the walls. Times difficult to maneuver him. Let's see if we can get this going. All right. Okay, I may have the delay fixed. I seriously apologize, guys, for the delay. All right, we should be on track now. Swesie is making his way through the Seeker sections. A lot of it has to do with manipulating that Seeker to your advantage. So you will see... Oh, very nice. I have not seen that strat before. Kicking the Seeker into that key. The Seekers can also collect the keys. So you can hit them into certain areas or in certain ways if you can manipulate them correctly to save time. So I think right now he's going to be attempting search skip. This is probably the biggest skip in the game. We'll do a reverse dash right there to skip that entire section. That saves minutes. Such a huge time save. It saves you having to get 2 keys from either sides of the level. So, and we look over to the right on Chocolate Cake screen, we will see what they go for. Actually going for that bubble. As you can see there, it is actually kind of cool to see some difference in strats right there. Rather than just me having to tell you the difference, you actually get to see both of them. And Swesie is entering now the Theo section of the game. And now Theo, probably my least favorite section. Just, I don't know, it's very difficult to manipulate Theo to your advantage. One of the best ways is to, as you can see Swesie doing, if you throw Theo and then dash into him and pick him up, you will kind of keep your momentum, and it will throw you forward. I'm in a little bit of trouble there with the Seeker, but taking deaths, just going a little bit slower, but not taking deaths in these rooms is huge. It wastes so much time if you accidentally take deaths here, just because you have to set everything up again. So yeah, using that momentum manipulation from throwing Theo and then grabbing him in the air. You can also dash into Theo on the ground and pick him up halfway through and then just jump out of it. That will also give you a momentum boost. He's going to go for the top strat. Go up the top. Oh, very nice recovery. Collecting Theo, going through the final room. Actually, very smooth right there. The wave pulses are sometimes very aggravating if you don't time it. Finishing up Chapter 5, going into the final chapter. Chocolate Cake is now in the second section of the Mirror Temple. Very soon we are going to be seeing a lot of the Seekers again. Picking up Theo about halfway through this. And now Swesie is into Chapter 6, and we have the addition of the Feather. The Feather, I believe both of these players are playing on PC. I do not know whether that means controller or keyboard. It's kind of just preference, whether you do either or. But I know a lot of people that play on controller will use the D-pad for most all of the movement. It's just a little bit more reliable. And then switch to the analog stick for the feather sections. Doing a little skip here, not having to take those blue blocks there, called Kevin blocks, named after the lovely Kevin himself, who makes the noise. It's very cool to actually get to meet him at SGDQ this year. Very nice guy. But yeah, he is making the noise for the Kevin blocks. We see Chocolate Cake is making through some of these Seeker sections, trying to manipulate the best way that they can. I'm grabbing those keys, trying to finish up. See Swesie jumping on top of that Kevin block actually to regain his dash. That saves a little bit of time right there. Not as easy as it looks. Lots of hypers and extended hypers in these sections. Regaining your dash allows you to just skip a lot. Right there, you do a room transition into a hyper into a room transition. I'm in a little bit of trouble with that one. But yeah, there's just a lot. Right there again, doing another extended hyper. Get to abuse that a lot in this section. Going down to the, in Chapter 6, there are, oh, we'll go over to Chocolate Cake screen right now, attempting search skip. Very nice first try. That's awesome. Saves a lot of time. So, yeah, what was I saying? Oh, in the Chapter 6, there are two kind of just branching paths. Ooh, very nice extended boost off those bumper pads right there. Skipping that one bumper. You can either pick going up or going down. There are certain ones that are faster, but there is definitely some variation between some of the runners. Some prefer just to go some have their patterns going up, down. It's kind of cool to see some variety in the runs rather than it just being all set in stone. You can kind of customize it to what you feel more comfortable about. And Swesie is very close to the battle line section. You can kind of see her hair, battle and fight section. You can see her hair. We're chasing her, finally trying to confront. See if he gets the third part of this. Oh, costly death right there. That's okay. It's quick enough to get back, set up those skips again. Very nice recovery right there. Getting his second try. That's awesome. We see Chocolatecake is going through the Theo section right now, using the boost off of the Seeker when the Seeker respawns. Seekers never die unless they are crushed by something, but you can use their death boost or their respawn boost to get a little bit of momentum. So, all right, and Swesie is now into the battle line section, battle section of the game. A lot of these rooms are super fun to execute. Every time that you touch Battlein, you get thrown back, and you can kind of counter that by dashing back towards her. And sometimes you won't even get, a lot of these times, you won't even get a chance to attack. So making their way through these rooms as quickly and efficiently as possible, as you would assume would be done in a speed run. The Seeker kind of helping out Chocolatecake there on the right, hitting hitting Theo over that gap. Oh, having a little bit of trouble. Very nice. Brought it back. That's awesome. So yeah, using a lot of hypers in these two, extended hypers to on Swesie's screen, getting through these sections. These rooms the room that he just entered, very long sections, costly deaths if you take them. Sometimes it's better to just take that extra 2 seconds, take it a little bit slower to ensure that you will not die on the end of a screen. It has happened to me quite a lot. You're right at the very end, you die and you end up wasting 10 seconds rather than just waiting for 2. Right there, see that, taking that extra second just to jump over, make sure that you'll get it. Very nice. See that Chocolatecake is now into chapter 6, messing with the feather. We see Chocolatecake is actually going for leg skip. Very difficult trick, trying to do a spike jump off of that. Yeah, actually going to end up just doing it the normal way. It's such a difficult strat. I haven't even attempted to try and learn it. So, one thing that's actually interesting is in the battle line fight, the little fireballs that she's throwing, even though that they are visible, until they have left her hand, they do not actually, I don't know, they do not actually have a hitbox. So you'll sometimes see Battleline having those fireballs in her hand, and it almost looks like that one of these runners should be dying, but you can actually have Battleline's hitbox is absolutely massive. So you can very much use that to your advantage. Using the boost off that bumper right there, gain some extra speed. And we are finished up with, there's just some movement optimization right here at the very end. Level up, Battleline becomes one with you, and you gain access to your double dash. And we will have that for the rest of the game. Battleline will be helping us out. Making for some, Chocolatecake trying to go for that that Kevin skip right there. That is this is very tricky. Almost got it too. So entering Summit, Swesie goes. All of these sections, there's kind of a neutral section at the very beginning. But then all of the sections in Summit, this is the longest section in the game. Goes back through every single mechanic that we have seen so far from all of the different chapters. Utilizing the wave dashes, the screen transitions right there. Pretty much getting access to what you would call a triple jump, a triple dash in a sense. Very long screens, especially in the final sections of Summit. Very costly to take a death here, so sometimes just taking it the slow route actually pays off. Chocolate Cake here is very close to the battle line section, making their way through this, taking the bounce off that platform right there, doing a little crouch dash, get under their spikes. Don't even have to move Kevin. He's pretty tired. We won't bother him. All right, so Swesie is now E. Correct me if I'm wrong. Chat, don't really kill me. I think this is 500 meters. Doing the traffic blocks, using their momentum to advantage. Trying to skip as much as possible. Right there, doesn't even grab onto those 2 blocks. Carrying the momentum in from that one room. And almost done with this. One more. Ooh, very nice. Skipping, don't even need that other one. Yep, now we are going up to, I was right, 1,000 meters. Back into the Dream Block section. As on Chocolate Cake screen here, we'll see what they go for here. Ends up going just a little bit safer route, gets that checkpoint. Actually pays off right there, respawns right at the top. Very nice, very nice. As we go one more room after here, taking the reset right there, that actually throws you forward. So can be optimal actually used to that death abuse right there. Battle-In is just on the other side of this one room. So as he's making through the dream blocks, one final screen. Yeah, Battle-In is finally helping out. And I guess we have one screen on the left. Battle-In is being helpful. Not so much. So, all right. Some of the hardest, in my opinion, some of the hardest rooms right here, Swesie is going through, hugely cycle-based, with the Dust Boys. We'll see what they go for. Going through very quickly. Taking a little pause right there. Better safe than sorry, like I said, on those final ending rooms. Just if you take a death, it's just not worth waiting that half a second. Very difficult room right there. Very nice job from Swesie. Taking the shortcut right here, doing an extended hyper right there to skip that whole thing a little bit faster than the top route. Chocolate Cake is utilizing those hypers off those platforms. Get towards Battle-In as quickly as possible. Swesie is now moving into 1,500 meters. Excuse me, 2,000 meters. Gosh, we're going so fast through these final sections. Oh, very nice right there. Skipping, going through. The backup there is to go through a couple of screen transitions. Wastes a bit of time. Doesn't even need them. The wind in these levels is sometimes very painful. Backdrafts, the addition of the snowballs, try to come at you, try to ruin your day. Oh, very nice. Very nice extended hyper right there. We'll see if they go for the skip. Nope, not going for the skip. Totally understand. Very difficult auto-scroller skip right there. Oh, it does it anyway. It does the second half of it anyway. Just for the swag strats. Why not? Oh, costly death on Chocolate Cake screen. right at the end of those screens. But yeah, those spikes right there are so mean. They're so mean. Hopefully third try we'll get it. Swesie is gonna have to wait right there. Use that dash a little bit early. Final screen for him on the 2,000 meters. Gonna slip under that with a hyper. One last bounce with Battling. Going for the quick dash under those spikes. All right, half of the battle line battle for Chocolate Cake is over. And we got blocks, trying to kill her with blocks. 2,500 meters. Also, there are some very difficult skips in here. It would be interesting to see what Swesie goes for. Doing the wave dash off that one right there. Second wave dash, very nice. No problem. Going for the key skip right here. Or not the key skip, but doing a little double bounce off here. There it is. Resets the room, teleports you down with the key right there. Very nice. Look over on Chocolate Cake. They are just finishing up here. I think one more room after this. Even hypering into that room. I always die to that. I always die to that hyper if I accidentally do that in that room. So kudos to them. One more bounce off the spring. Very nice. Last little bit of movement tech right here. Get the level up. Ah, I missed it. I missed door skip. Did it happen? You're going to have to tell me. I was looking elsewhere. All right, we are into Summit. Final section of this run for Swesie. 3,000 meters. Some of the longest rooms in the game. Using the wall bounces to keep that upward momentum. Backup strat, just waiting for that refresh crystal to respawn. Now we are into the downdraft section. Reverse hyper up there. And try and wall bounce. Just a reverse dash. A little bit of trouble with that wall bounce. There we go. Count the flags as we go. Downdraft section is quite annoying, but if you can use those wall bounces just to your advantage, makes it go so much faster. Also, if you hold on to the walls for a long enough period of time, Madeline will start sliding down. So it just makes it all the harder. A little bit of trouble with that crumble block. There it is. And now Chocolate Cake. Going into the first part of Summit. Using Madeline, helping her get through these rooms with the double dashes. Wall bounce on Swesie. That'll finish up this section. This, I believe, yeah, Chocolate Cake is going on to 500 meters. Flag 19, I believe, for Swesie. Very long rooms in here. You have to utilize your dashes in very specific places to get through these. But now we are in the updraft section for Swesie. So you'll have a lot more hang time. Your dashes go a little bit farther. Use that as much to your advantage as possible. Just have to time everything correctly. Very difficult, just kind of tricky, very mean jump right. If we can get it first try, right through it, no issue right there for Swesie. Very difficult jump right at the end of that section right there before the checkpoint. And Chocolate Cake is going on to 1,000 meters. There it is, going through the Dream Block section. A couple of difficult dashes right there. No problem for Swesie getting through there. Skipping that checkpoint, actually. Doesn't even need it. Getting through those spikes. Finish up this room. Chocolate Cake is collecting the keys. Skipping the bounce pads. Ooh, unfortunate right there. That's all right. We'll get it this time. Goes for that backup little bounce pad right there. No problem indeed. All right, flag 3 for Swesie. Very, very close right now to the end. I always take that that feather and momentum carries me up into those spikes. I'm glad that didn't happen for him. Actually extended hypering out of that. Very precise dashes. So close to the end here. Flag 1, final stretch. Here we go. Some clean movement right here. Last thing. And there it is. Skips the cutscene and time for Swesie. Very nice. Very clean movement on that final section right there. Coming with a time of 37:47. That is awesome. And I believe that is a PB. That is a PB. Even from the one on the SRC leaderboards is 38:24, and I think I saw in the chat a little bit earlier, he got a 37:57. So I believe that is a PB by 10 seconds. Last thing. So that is congratulations, man. That is awesome. For Swesie, very nice. And we may see here. Section right there. Coming with a time of we may see if we can get them in here for an interview here in a little bit, as we see Chocolate Cake making through, like I said, some of the most difficult rooms in the run, just having to deal with these cycles. That is a PB. Even from the one on the SRC leaderboards is 38:24, and I think I saw in the chat a little bit earlier, he got a 37:57. So I believe that is a PB by 10 seconds. All right, going for the secret room strat right there. That is congratulations, man. That is awesome. Very nice. And we may see final room of 1500. Just gotta memorize these patterns. Sometimes they can give you a little bit of trouble. No trouble for Chocolate Cake right there. Onto the 2,000 meters. Dashing out of those bubbles saves a little bit of time. Going for the dash reset on the transition. Making it through the side of these draft sections, trying to dodge those snowballs. Going with the top route here. Yeah, bouncing off the snowball. You do bounce off the snowball. It does regain your. So there are some strats that use that. I think we're gonna have Swesie join here in a couple seconds. Get an interview here while we're finishing up Chocolate Cake's run. Very close here. Doing the directional blocks, or a couple of other skips right there. Choosing not to go for them. I think Swesie just joined us.
Hello.
How you doing? How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
I believe that was a PB, correct?
Yep.
That's
correct.
Awesome.
By about 10 seconds, I think.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How do you feel overall? You feel okay with it?
I'm gonna repeat myself from my last race for the people I watch. Key skip is still bullshit.
I think
other than that,
the in what 2,500 meters.
Yeah, exactly. That the little double bounce or wall jump skip to get the key. For some reason, that's just a skip that if I'm behind, I will get it first try every time. If I'm on good pace, I will not be able to get it.
That's just the way it works, man. It's just
I think last race, I lost like 20, 30 seconds there for no reason. So,
I think you got it. What, third
try this time.
Third try.
So it could have been worse, but I don't like that skip.
Yeah. No, it's definitely finicky. Yeah. So awesome performance, man. That was great. Did you end up going for? I totally missed it. Did you end up going for door skip? Oh, chocolate cake getting the key skip first try. Very nice.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
No, I didn't go for door skip because it's another one of those. Just if I'm ahead, I will not be able to get it. And since I knew I was in PvP, so it was like, I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah. No, it's totally respectable. There was one. What was that one room? I saw you do something I had never seen. It might have been one of the Theo rooms. I think one of your strats for the Theo sections. You actually did a different strat by hitting one of the seekers into one of the keys. Oh, chocolate cake's going for door skip. Let's see it.
Ooh.
Let's see it. Oh, okay. Opting out.
Okay.
Totally fine.
I don't quite remember which one that would be. It was one
of the last seeker rooms. You just hit the seeker into one of the switches. I had seen it in other rooms, but I had never seen it in that particular section.
I might have to go rewatch that because I'm not quite sure which room that would be, unfortunately.
Yeah, but no, I just think it's so cool that in this game, not everything is set in stone. Like some people have separate strats. Sure, one might save half a second, quarter, but everybody can have a little bit different route.
It's really cool. It's especially prevalent in Mirror Temple. Like, there's just so many different strats you can do with the Seekers, manipulating them a little bit how you want. So it's really cool just like watching two different players run through that, because it's going to be different pretty much every time. It's really cool.
Yeah. We see Chocolate Cake here is going, just entered the final section of Summit. So I think we're on, flag 20, what is this? 26? 27? I can't quite see.
Let's see.
27 right now.
Okay.
So making their way through the downdraft section. I always have difficulties with this section. Just figuring out and manipulating that wind to your advantage. It's just gets kind of annoying, honestly.
I've found that wall bounces are your friend there.
Yeah, wall bounces. You have to do it if you want to move as effectively as possible.
Yeah,
it's just the best form of tech for this that specific section.
Yeah, definitely.
I think almost all, if not all, of the downdraft section is going up. And
yes, I think it's like every other is up and every other is like forward. I think that's usually how it goes.
Just nothing going down. The wind is always against you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So finishing it up, not too many issues. Had to take a couple of things, a couple of backup strats, but now we're on to the updraft section. A lot of these are just timing dashes efficiently, knowing when and when not to dash. You only have a specific number, even though you do have 2 dashes. You need all of those 2 dashes to get some of these rooms, get through them effectively. So what would you say is, I saw both of you guys practicing chapter 4 actually before the race started. Are there particular reasons why you chose that chapter over others?
I was actually running through like 1 through 4, the harder sections of each of them.
Okay.
Generally, chapter 4 is actually like my best chapter, I'd say. I was just like trying to run through some of the smaller chapters just to warm up, sort of.
Sure.
Apparently, it didn't help because my city was absolute garbage. But you know. But yeah, there's not really no reason. I like to just practice the Badland Chase in chapter 2, the Oshiro in 3, and then just most of 4 because it's a fairly quick chapter.
For sure.
So
for sure.
Just you know, to warm up and make sure that I know what I'm doing, sort of.
All right. What would you say the hardest chapter for you would be?
Ooh, I think obviously Summit, it's always hard for everyone, but overall I think chapter 3 might have to be my downfall.
Yeah.
I can be so inconsistent with those gosh darn cycles.
Yeah.
Like my best versus my worst like recently is like a 40-second difference, which is like way more than even Summit, I think. So
that's funny.
Is he gonna PB?
Just learning those cycles. I think we are on. What is this? 3?
I think it's on PB base.
I think we are on PB base.
For me, it's on 3 right now.
Yeah.
I think I'm a bit behind you, but yeah.
It is 47:48 is current time, and
yeah, I'm about 10 seconds behind right now.
PB is 49:22. So yeah, we are on last flag here. Double PB.
Let's go, Cake.
Let's go. Get some hype in the chat for the double PB. Final dash is here. And get the sub 49 dream right there.
Nice.
Congratulations. That's awesome. 1330 final chapter right there. Congratulations. That's awesome. I love how many like personal bests are happening during this tournament.
Yeah, I will never cease to be amazed by this. It's been like a week, and I think we've had like around 80% of races that had at least 1 PB.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know, 30-40% that has like at least double, which is, it's absolutely insane. I've been like trying to watch a lot of races and commentating some, and it's been really cool.
Yeah, it just shows that everyone is getting better. Everybody is really putting an effort here and doing the best that they can. And it really shows, and it's exciting for everybody. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So try and get in 1330 final chapter right there. Get them in for a quick interview here. That's awesome. I love how many like personal bests are. See if they're around.
Yeah, I will never cease to be amazed by this. It's been like a week, and I think we've had like around 80% of races that had at least 1 PB. I think also, except for just the PBs and tournaments, like there's been a whole bunch of like practice races going on in the tournament Discord. So it's been really cool, like seeing the community just like rally together and making sure to get better together. It's been a blast, even though it's just been like a week since the tournament started. It's been really, really cool.
Yes.
Yo,
hey,
congratulations. Got the what's that? What are we at? What was final time for you? 48 like 15? 13. Over a minute. Over a minute
like
PB.
A 45 in the last race, so that's like a 30ish second PB.
Nice.
Congrats, dude.
That's awesome. So how do you feel overall?
Not too many friends.
No, you're all right. How do you feel overall about the run?
Pretty good run. I had a pretty garbage battle line, but the rest of it was pretty decent.
Yeah. No, it was cool to just see there is a decent just gap in between the PBs, but it showcased a lot of just the different strategies that people take. Even some that I have never seen before. But it's cool to showcase that. I guess one question, like I saw you, maybe you were doing the same thing. I saw you practicing chapter 4. Were you just running through like the first chapter 4, like 1 through 4 at the beginning just to warm up, or were you specifically practicing chapter 4?
Actually, funny story. I was watching the VOD of my last race, and one of the commentators said, "Why isn't he doing bubble skip? You can dash when you're in a bubble and you go faster." And I actually did not know that was a thing. races are really helpful.
Yeah.
So I was just testing that out.
Yeah, Swesie and I were just talking about how, I mean, the whole tournament is a rally point, and it's really just pushing the game forward, just for everybody, all around, like pushing times down, pushing PBs. Everybody's learning a whole bunch, and it's awesome to see.
It's like every single race I've watched, there's been a PB.
Yeah. One last question before we head out here. What's like what's your favorite section? What's your favorite chapter if you have one?
The Corsi. I just really like the layout of it.
I actually, I just beat that maybe a week or two ago. It took me a bit, but we got it. I actually really like. I've started to really like Golden Ridge. Like after learning some of the strats, it's just a really fun chapter for me to go through. So yeah, that's been my favorite recently.
I think
I know people don't like the wind, but you know, I've sort of gotten used to it, and I really like it now.
I think for some of those, the more difficult ones, especially that and like the wind sections and the Theo sections, like once you get it down, it becomes infinitely more fun. Just because you get more consistent at those sometimes finicky mechanics or sections. So definitely. Well, do you guys have anything else to say before we head out here?
Leaf key skip.
GG Swesie, good run.
Yeah, grab some PB dude. Very nicely done.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys for putting up with a little bit of technical difficulties there, but I think next race is going to be in about probably 1 hour?
1 hour.
I think 8 p.m. EDT. So tune in for that. Ben Teasy versus GD Tog. And we will see you there, I believe, on the other speed gaming channels. I think Handheld Heroes is still going, and I believe I was watching a gosh, I'm blanking on the game. There's a bunch of other marathons, let's just put it that way. There's a bunch of speed gaming, so tune into that, and we will see you there for the next race. Thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you later. On the other speed gaming channels, I think Handheld Heroes is still going, and I believe I was watching a gosh, I'm blanking on the game. There's a bunch of other marathons, let's just put it that way. There's a bunch of speed gaming, so tune into that, and we will see you there for the next race. Thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you later.